Take 100. Hey, welcome to our channel.
Started off with that?
I am for real, but just the struggle today. Okay. The struggle has been real.
All right.
So we are Ed and Maya Guest of One Vision Events and Relationship Coaching. And let me tell you what we do. So what we do is we work with singles and we work with couples to improve communication skills. We help you increase intimacy and pleasure without judgment. And we create fun and interactive content and experiences. So I hope that you follow us and get some great tools out of it. Now, today we're not doing a training. Today we're just having a conversation. We were talking this morning and we were like, this conversation has got to go to the people because we don't have these answers. We want to talk to our community and, glean from you and, give our opinion and just have a good old conversation. So starting with this drama around Kim Kardashian and Ray J. So just to make that quick, back in 2004, you might remember, you might not, there was a sex tape supposedly leaked. And so since then, Ray J has come out and said, it wasn't leaked at all. The truth of the matter is that we signed contracts, they signed contracts. We did this with a professional, camera crew, and people were present, and this wasn't leaked at all. Like, it was planned, and we did it, and I'm going to put it out there on the table. So we started talking about that, and we started talking about watching sex tapes and watching porn and things like that, and how this affects the view of the church. Where do Christians stand on sexuality, period? So I actually wrote down a few questions because I wanted to talk to you about it. So the first thing I wrote down, where do Christians stand on sex, porn, masturbation, toys, etc.? When, where, how are you supposed to learn these things? Okay. So, when you think back to the first time you tingled, like, okay, I was watching TV, they kissing on the screen, ooh, got a little tingle, you got to get your thighs together. If you go from that point, whenever that was for you, I don't know, I know it was mighty early for me, but whenever that was for you, if we do go all the way to marriage, let's say you get married, just pick a day, I didn't, but say you get married at 30, from that point all the way to 30, what do you do with these tingles and these feelings if you are supposed to wait until you're married to explore sexuality and, what pleases you? What are we doing? Like, what are we teaching the kids? Like, how are they supposed to handle this? That whole thing.
Kids.
So that's where it starts, though. That's what I'm saying. That's where you start to learn about how to control these urges. Mm-hmm. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about and to just get your perspective. So, talking to you, babe.
Okay.
Like, what do you think the right thing is? Like, what are we supposed to be doing?
This is one of those subjects that just does not get talked about much in the
at
church.
All.
I'm gonna go on a big limb.
Okay.
Big limb and say 99.7%.
That's mighty high.
I'm telling you,
that's high.
What you, I won't say learn, but what you hear, learn, feel about sexual content, sexual anything, is going to be from other people.
Something outside the church.
Outside the church is not going to be you and Deacon Sampson.
I hope not. Cause
it's not going to be you and the minister. It's not going to be Now I know people like to have ministries where they teach the young people how to control themselves, but.
And wait a minute, we're not talking about this foolishness that we've been seeing where preachers putting their hands on women's jiggler booties, talking about their casts and stuff. That ain't what we're talking about. I'm talking about actually learning, teaching, some training on how you're supposed to handle these feelings, urges.
And I think the part that does not that gets left out, that sometimes sex is viewed of all things, all the way from perverted to all the way to artistic, and we're not spending time with the artistic because we group it all as nasty.
Well, you just said artistic, like you artistic.
Sex is a beautiful thing.
I get you. Okay, so I'm glad you said perverted.
Thing.
It's crazy because I actually wrote down that definition. Oh, really? I wanted to know, okay, what is sexual perversion? Like, what does that really mean? Because you hear it all the time. Oh, that's sexual perversion. So I looked it up, and this definition came from dictionary.com. No, it didn't. Dictionary.apa.org. I Googled it, and this is what came up.
Okay.
Sexual perversion is any sexual practice that is regarded by a community or culture as an abnormal means of achieving orgasm or sexual arousal. See, abnormal. What is normal? Like, what's considered normal in the Christian culture, in church culture? What's a normal way to be aroused or to achieve orgasm? Like, that's different from Christian to Christian, I bet you.
It is.
So even if we're talking about, you don't have sex till you get married. Okay, even within marriage, what's normal? So let's say we're talking about all married people, just so we don't have to get into the debate of sex before marriage is wrong. We're talking about all married people. Okay, it's okay to have sex. Great. What's normal? What's a normal way? What's normal for me might not be normal for you. Correct. Like, talking about Kim Kardashian and Ray J. Can y'all watch this sex tape that they made for arousal? Can you watch porn in your marriage for arousal? And so
that's where I
Well, even before we attack that, toys. That's another question. Is it okay to use toys to achieve orgasm in your marriage, or is that considered perversion? Like, I can share my viewpoint on all of it, but I would really love to hear from you guys. Like, because it's only considered perversion if it's abnormal. Well, we don't know what's normal because we don't talk about this stuff.
We do not.
Like, what? So you really, whatever you guys feel is normal. And that's how we live our lives. In our marriage, whatever we feel is our normal, is what we, is right for us, is what we do. But, okay, what were you about to say? I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I don't want to say porn gets a bad rap. When you say porn, everybody just automatically goes to whatever the worst gutter.
I mean, some of that porn is gutter for real, but
I mean, so it is. But it's very, very, very. I mean, you can get whatever you into. They got it.
But can I share my stance on this?
Go ahead.
So I want to share my stance because we differ on our opinion, our stance on porn, and we haven't always.
That's true.
I have in the past not been convicted watching porn at all. I was a fan, like big time fan. I had a subscription, paid subscription.
Ooh,
with all this free porn out there. Maya
myself.
Paid because I wanted the good kind with the good directors and the crisp video. Like, I was all in, and I got convicted, and so I got to the point where it's wrong for me, and so you can share your own stuff, but for me, it's a perversion for me.
Right.
Now, I don't put that on everybody else. I'm not like, you going to hell if you watch porn. No. I just don't feel like that's something that I need to be doing.
We'll just say we're in two different places right now. I feel like there's an evolution involved. To me, how you use porn, and I'm not saying this is what I do or anything, but how you use porn, to me, is what makes it perverted. If you're using it for, I'll say, self-love, I don't think it's an issue. Now, they say you do have to be aware of the images you feed yourself, because every now and then you act on it. So you watch what you usually simulate in the bedroom. I think that's fine. I feel like if you use porn, and for the both of you,
but ain't nobody out there really just watching only what they get in the bedroom.
Oh, that's
people.
fantasy.
Yeah, you go create a fantasy over
there. I can
there.
see that's where the danger of porn gets. If you aren't able, it's, to me, it's like you have to recognize if you're an alcoholic or an addict. So, like alcoholic recognizes I can't go in the bar and have one drink. A social drinker recognizes I can go in the bar, have a drink. I'm not going to drive home. I'm not going to do anything dangerous. Somebody who's who uses pain medicine. Somebody gets hurt, my arm hurts, take my pain medicine, my arm's better, I don't have to see it no more. Somebody else gets used to the pain medicine. So I feel like you have to recognize what your addiction is, because porn addiction is real. I'm not saying that's not real. What I'm saying is,
if it makes you do bad stuff, then you need to put it down.
You need to put it down. If it's taking the place of something, if it's making you
not want to have sex with your spouse,
yeah, if it's making you dishonest with your wife, if you're hiding things, if you sneaking away, just to look at something.
So what if your wife has, or spouse, because it goes both. What if your spouse has an issue with you watching porn? Do you feel like you should not do it?
Ooh, that's tough.
Or do you think it's okay to sneak away and do it anyway?
No, I don't. I feel like
if they got a problem with it, you can't do it.
You can't do it. I feel like you have to have, but that's where you have to have that discussion. You have to be honest, because.
But what if it changes like it did with us? At the beginning of our marriage, I didn't personally have a problem with it. I was a big fan,
right?
And it's changed for me.
Right.
So what if that changes, and now your spouse has an issue with yours?
Right. If you have issues with mine, then I have to make, just because I promised to be in this with you, we have to have a discussion. Maybe there's a compromise. Maybe there's no compromise. Maybe there's a.
But you got to be open and talk about it. No sneaking. Okay.
No sneaking. You get, that's a tough conversation.
That is.
But that's what marriage is.
You better.
It's a series, and when I say series, I'm talking roots. Series.
Because you're gonna have. Because if you sneaking away doing stuff, then you deleting history. That's a whole. That's a whole issue.
No. You got to be who you are. You got to be who you are, and maybe that discussion may lead to a conviction where, you know what. Or it may lead to some talks about, well, what can I do to aid you in, sexual freedom? What can make us connect? And sometimes it may lead to, hey, we just got a difference of opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is not, disclaimer reminder, this is not a training. We are just having a conversation.
This is a conversation.
Now, toys, as far as, orgasms, I think that they're fine. I feel like that's normal. And everybody might not feel that way, but I feel like it's normal to use them. I think it's fun. So, I would love to hear from y'all to see,
but again,
my Christian community.
This is not, and if this is ever brought up, I think people will laugh and giggle it off, or they'll be shocked and chagrined, and then quickly move to the next subject.
Right. So how is sex introduced in our culture? Like, when do you talk about it? What do you teach about it? People are not waiting till they get married to explore. Like, it's not happening. Like, I would love for this to be a perfect world where everybody, you just wait till you get married and you kiss and figure out each other's bodies. That would be beautiful. But since that's not happening, what do we teach?
I'm gonna be honest. This is not happening. You have to tell them what the standard is. The standard is the standard. You know what I'm saying? The way for marriage. We know that's the standard. What we have to talk to them about is, what are either repercussions, possible consequences, possible scenarios?
No, I want to know. I'm talking about actual sex.
That's what I'm saying.
How it's done.
No, that's what I'm saying.
When do they learn? How do people learn that? Now, I'm not even talking about whether you should or shouldn't, right or wrong.
That's what you're saying.
Like, when do people learn about sex? When are they supposed to? How are they supposed to? Like, I know you probably should learn about it in your marriage, But if not, then how are little Christians learning about sex? Are they just getting out here trying it out? Is that
that is what they're doing.
No, that's
that is what they're doing.
That's what you did. I mean,
Fifth. So all I'm saying is, you may not want to teach. I'm radical, but I don't know about teaching how to have sex.
I don't want to teach that.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying I don't want to sit down with Brielle and be like, "This is how it's done."
No,
I don't want to.
I don't want to do that.
I mean, I want to teach her about it. I don't have a problem talking to young kids. I talk to them all the time.
You usually are left with a choice. You usually are left with a choice of putting your head in the sand and hoping that your baby girl or your baby boy isn't having sex. You either catch them and confront them, and then you choose to be like, all right, I'm going to put more restrictions to keep you from having any more. Or you start then, once you know they're having it, start talking. And even then, that's still too late. But I don't know if anybody is ready to preemptively talk about.
I'm going to tell you why you have to. I teach high school now, but I haven't always. I used to teach middle school, and I taught life science. In life science, you teach about the reproductive system. You would be completely floored to know what these kids at 13, what they know. Now, I don't mean what they know as far as watching porn and how the act happens. They don't know how their bodies work. Because they're learning about how their bodies work, talking to each other, and so thinking that you might be able to get pregnant, swallowing semen, this type of thing. Yes. Like they don't know how it works, and so we have a responsibility to explain some of this to them. It's their body; they need to know how things happen, without talking to other 12 and 13-year-olds. Like they have to talk to adults about this. Like, you have to talk to them.
But you're right. You run a sticky line.
What you mean?
Well, who wants to be the adult?
Me.
Talks to kids.
I talk to them anyway.
Without getting in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get any type of conversation. They're like, oh, especially, and then I don't want to get political with the word pedophile just thrown around so much. Even talking to kids.
So it's the responsibility to talk to our own kids.
Absolutely.
Now, definitely talk to yours.
But see, some of these kids need mentors that will talk to them.
Right.
But I don't know if it's peer mentors. I don't know if it's older mentors.
Not a peer. You don't know a peer mentor talking to you about sex, you know?
Point. Never mind. Scratch that.
Because they're all figuring it out. And they are lost out here. Do you hear me?
True.
Just by the questions that they ask. They don't have a clue until they have a clue because they did it already. And now they don't even know how they got pregnant.
That's very true.
You have a lot of pregnant teens that have no idea how it works biologically. You know what I mean? So the last thing I had on here was the Hebrews 13:4 about the marriage bed being undefiled. And I think I'm going to save that because I think that's deep. And that's a whole nother conversation. So I want you to be thinking about that. Like, what does that even mean for a marriage bed to be undefiled? Like, that's one of the things I want to talk about next time we come together. Like, I cannot wait to hear what you guys say about this. We'll probably continue this conversation and just be coming back and forth to talk to y'all about some different topics that we need help with. We want some insight.
Yes, all comments are welcome. We
want to hear from our Christian and church culture, our community. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. My husband cooked. My birthday was yesterday, and he cooked for me. So we about to light some candles and eat a little food. Y'all want to? Oh, somebody asked what we had. Oh, okay. I heard the question. I heard it. So he barbecued. I got me some ribs, baby backs, and some salmon, and then he made baked potatoes and a salad. And I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about wine, but I got a little wine or whatever. I don't care how you feel about wine because I got me some. So I'm excited. Our kids are gone. Then they're not gonna be back till tomorrow. Why your eyebrows doing? He doing his eyebrows like that. Like his eyebrows don't go up and down when they here. Don't again. Okay. So I'm holla at y'all.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right. What is that?
Peace sign. Oh, okay. Okay. See.
What is that? An early '90s thing?
See what I'm saying? Here come the age difference. Y'all have a good night.